18 years ago, I painted this one miniature. Today, it's mutated in what might be the biggest Chaos Space Marine army in the world. You've never seen a Warhammer collection like this because I don't think one exists. Mini Wargamer Dave here from miniwargaming.com, and I'm not typically one to brag, but in this case, I'll lean into it by saying I don't know another soul who is more obsessed with these miniatures than I am. In this video, I'll reveal what I have in my collection, explain why I have so many miniatures, and how I've decided to become a mega collector. This is only one of them, and I've got two Mastodons. Why? Because one got lonely, obviously. And if not for the insane rematch coming up with my buddy Kyle, I wouldn't be showing this collection at all. But I need to take stock because what's coming could be even more ridiculous than last time. And the best way of setting the stakes is rewinding back to 2007. YouTube was just a baby. The iPhone just dropped. Call of Duty 4 changed gaming forever. Breaking Bad and the Kardashians premiered. It was chaos in two very different forms. That was 2007. I was 22, naive, and completely unaware that this hobby was about to consume my soul. I didn't know it at the time, but collecting Warhammer miniatures would balloon into an obsession. And if you're a fellow Chaos collector, I want to know. What's your heavy hitter? What's your favorite legion? Drop it in the comments. I started my army just like everyone else who plays Warhammer, beginning with a starter box. But once I got a taste of this plastic crack, I was done for. I enjoyed years of collecting and expanding my Chaos army. Opponents would challenge me to games where I'd have a chance to see what my forces were made of. This would be the cause of some unforgettable moments, until one day, I met someone just as obsessed as I am. And that's when things got dangerous. A few years back, in the summer of 2022, I deployed my entire army in the battle of the century against the largest orc army I'd ever seen. Enter Kyle, the mad genius behind Gear Guts Mek Shop. It was beyond ridiculous. The titanic explosions, the random mishaps, the back pains and the high fives, and of course, the memories. All happened right here in the room next door. We had an unforgettable game which has become the most viewed video on the Mini Wargaming YouTube channel. But then I made the mistake of asking you this question. Should I wage war against this green tide of yellow armored orcs generaled by Kyle again? I wonder how you answered. You see, Kyle isn't your typical Warhammer player. No siree. Your average wargamer goes to a gaming store, buys what's needed, assembles it, paints it, and starts playing games. But Kyle is different. If he doesn't have a unit, he'll just digitally sculpt it, then 3D print it. And on top of that, he'll paint it just like he's painted each and every model in his collection. Impressive, right? As you can see, Kyle's got a horde of infantry. And to counter that, I'll bring my demons. All my demons. From bloodletters to demonettes to Zangors, demonic possession is the name of the game. If plague bearers are needed to trudge their way across a war-torn landscape surrounded by crawlers and poxes, I've got that covered. But I'm not just bringing these foot soldiers of the Chaos Gods to war. I'll include some heavier hitters as well, like my greater demons and bloodthirsters. They'll provide the much needed support my minions enjoy when reaping skulls on the battlefield. I once asked Kyle if he had tanks, and instead of telling me he did, he showed me this. Seeing row after row of not just grot tanks, but battle wagons made me realize I was dealing with a deviant. So I responded the best way I could. Having rhino tanks to transport my infantry across the battlefield is one thing, but unleashing an armored company of land raiders is next level. If I have the Legion, I've got a heavy support for it, especially for war leaders. My favorite faction in all of Warhammer 40k. But what good is all of this if I can't match his mega units? He's got some titanic models that dwarf small children, and the first time I saw them, I was in awe. But that feeling quickly faded when I asked myself, what do I have in my army that can deal with that much armor? Well, how about we begin answering that with some Mastodons? These Forge World Super Heavies mean business in the best possible way. Not only do they transport infantry across the table, they double as tracked behemoths of devastating firepower. Seeing one is impressive, but seeing two held in hand, that's just rare. However, this is only part of the solution. Wait till the brass scorpions and Lord of Skulls start making some noise. There's nothing sweeter than the sound of fire raining down from the sky. But the ultimate answer to his orky armor has gotta be my Titans themselves. Both my Warhound and my Warlord Titans. Walking towers of death, which make their way across corpse-strewn wastes in a sight glorious to behold. Now granted, Kyle's collection is also a sight to behold, especially when it's all painted in one cohesive color scheme. Now compare that to my chaotic spectrum of glorious heresy. Every legion, every god, every purpose, all ready to tear each other apart, and the orcs too. My beautifully painted Sons of Horus are intentional and follow the War Master's call. On the flip side, my Black Legion have their own agenda, led by Abaddon the Despoiler, ready to unleash chaos upon any who stand in their way. And if you're keen on white and red schemes, then you'll like both versions of my World Eaters, from Khorne Berserkers to Mullaphiends, and a converted Primarch Angron himself. I've made sure to satiate my never-ending lust to collect skulls from gore-soaked greenskins. But I gotta say, this giant-ass Karn takes the cake. Completely impractical, yet totally necessary. My collection wouldn't be the same without him. It's reasonable to say I've got too much of my army to do a proper showcase justice. There's just too much to cover. I could make an entire video series showcasing my gorgeously painted word bearers. The freehand on the vehicles are out of this world, and each model deserves its own time in the sun. But what about my Emperor's Children, and the noise they'd make if I opened up the stage to them? The volume increases just by looking at them, and seeing how unique they are is an exercise in feasting on visuals. Ultimately, my Thousand Sons would change the whole direction of this video, and cast every spell in the book. Magnus would surely say there's nothing wrong with this, but after he opens up cosmic warp portals and causes irreversible damage to our space-time continuum. And so I ask, what legion from my collection should I make a specific video on? Tell me in the comments and I'll get to work. After doing a little inventory in preparation for my mega battle with Kyle, I've come to 4 eye-opening conclusions. 1, I love me a good spectacle, and if you've watched this far, you do too. You want to see this epic clash of chaos versus orcs, just like the millions the first time around. 2, collecting the amount of miniatures I do isn't normal, even for Warhammer players. But I'm okay with that. I embrace my obsession, and I choose to celebrate it publicly. If you walk away with a smile on your face, that's all I can ask for. Hit subscribe if you believe plastic can be powerful, if chaos is the most beautiful kind of madness, and that mega battles deserve a mega spotlight. Because let's face it, this video popped up in your feed because you've been waiting to see something like this. And make no mistake, you have come to the right place. 3, collecting miniatures has brought me more joy than I could have imagined. It's a way of life for me, and I appreciate the friendships I developed over the years because of it. And 4, I wouldn't be doing this without Wayland Games. Is this a cheeky way of including the sponsor to this video? Of course it is. But it makes sense because I visited them, and they have mega collectors on their team as well. So that showed me they're my kind of people. So if you happen to live in the UK or EU and want some Warhammer of your own, I've provided a link in the description to their web store where you can dive in like Scrooge McDuck and see what's in store. I'm Mini Wargamer Dave, and this is my collection of Chaos Space Marines.